Hi guys, this is a redirect to my reaction to Avatar The Last Airbender Season 3 episodes 7, 8, 9. Wow, some brilliant episodes again. So a lot of different things happened. These weren't completely about the main plot. It was more character focused. But it's still pretty good. So the first episode, episode 7, was about like the conflict, and I mean, they always had like a cat fight going on between Katara and Toph, but it was a big cat fight in episode 7. So Katara and Toph, as we all know, are very different in terms of personality, values, beliefs, ideals, whatever, and morality as well. And it was just it got frustrating that they kept having a go at each other. But like I'm glad that they made up in the end. So basically, Katara didn't like the fact that Toph was scamming people. Well, Toph, Aang, and Sokka were scamming people, and Toph was basically using her earthbending skills and using her blindness to her advantage to get money, all for the sake of like getting food and money, that for the sake of survival. That she was technically scanning people, but then again, like when she was like up against that guy who was moving around those cups to challenge people on which cup actually has the rock, she was actually using her seismic sense to figure out where the rock was in which cup, and that's how she was able to get money. Yeah, I mean, the guy was also cheating himself. Like, he was taking the wrong rock out and putting it in his sleeves, and Toph was able to figure that out using a seismic sense. So yeah, it's a really cool ability, like seismic sense. Like all it is just enhanced hearing, enhanced sensing, but she does it. The way it's done is just so cool, how she figures things out without even like seeing it because she's blind, but she's so aware. Like, she's so much more aware than everyone else, and that's crazy. But it's awesome. So I'm glad that Katara like eventually, I mean, she actually overheard Toph and Sokka talking. So yeah, I mean, it's thanks to Sokka, really. Like, Sokka was like telling Toph that Katara is so motherly because because their mother died, and so she kind of like brought that role, for the sake of protecting family. She's only protecting them, that's why she gets really frustrated. So don't blame it on Katara. It's just how she is. So at one point, Sokka found a wanted poster of Toph. It turns out that that wanted poster was a whole setup made by the Third Eye Assassin that is trying to kill Aang. So basically, his idea was to lure the crew, Aang's crew, to lure them into a trap of being aware of the wanted poster. And Katara, because she didn't know about this, she actually wanted to pretend to capture Toph, so that she can get her reward. But it turns out that there was no reward, and she was thrown into a wooden prison with Toph. And so because the whole idea was to lure Aang to the bait, which was Katara and Toph in the wooden prison. But thankfully, they managed to actually get out of that wooden prison because Katara used her own sweat to waterbend. That was just like ingenious. Like, it was such a desperate situation because there was no water to be found. So she had to use her own sweat to waterbend out of the wooden prison and save Aang from the Third Eye Assassin. So another lucky escape from the Third Eye Assassin. Then the second episode, wow. So that old lady, like, at the beginning I knew there was something creepy about her, but I couldn't put my finger on like whether she was going to be a bad person. But she turns out to actually be a bad person. Well, technically, I mean, it's complicated because she went through so much, and I actually felt really sorry for her because she's so angry at the Fire Nation for basically killing off her whole Southern Water tribe all those years ago, and also imprisoning her for so many years. I can't imagine the amount of bad treatment she got from the Fire Nation, of being imprisoned and also having no family at all because they all got killed off by the Fire Nation. So I totally understand her immense anger towards the Fire Nation, but I'm so glad that Katara was strong enough to not be swayed by her and not become like the old lady who's so driven up by anger and hatred to become that as well. So, because she was trying to make Katara a bloodbender, and Katara can now do bloodbending, which is amazing, but also really scary as well. That's a very higher level type of bending, because considering that bloodbending is like right inside you, so you can control people. So the whole so the whole plot with the second episode was that so Aang's crew were trying to figure out who was kidnapping, why the Fire Nation citizens were disappearing during the full moon. And they couldn't quite figure it out until like very late when the old lady was offering to teach Katara how to improve her waterbending by bloodbending, literally taking the water out of everything, including the air. I was so astonished that she was able to waterbend with just the air itself. That is just amazing. Wow. So unfortunately, it turns out the old lady was the one that's actually taking all the Fire Nation people hostage by making them walk all the way up a mountain, because her bloodbending is basically controlling their bodies to make them walk all the way up a mountain and be imprisoned in this cave that Aang and Sokka saw. And Katara actually had to fight the old lady because the old lady was like, you must learn to bloodbend, join me in my fight against the Fire Nation. Let us kill Fire Nation people. And Katara was like, no, I'm not going to be part of your revenge. Fuck you. So yeah, it was amazing that she was finally able to do bloodbending on her. God, man, that was such a close call. To be honest, I felt that fight was a bit too easy though, considering that she seems, the old lady, like she had like decades and decades of experience, and yeah, Katara was able to one shot her, was able to defeat her. But I mean, whatever. I mean, she's just a minor character anyway. Yeah, that was a really interesting episode. I did feel sorry for the old lady though, because you know, like she suffered so much, and so basically the Fire Nation have made her an enemy. It reminds me of how Jet had so much hatred and revenge for the Fire Nation. So, you know, you just made your own enemies basically. So anyway, it is what it is. So the third episode, so Zuko, like he was getting frustrated that he was not invited to the war meeting, even though he was, but no one told him about it. So he was having a bit of like a paranoid kind of fit against Azula, and Azula was like, calm down, you are invited to the war meeting. And he is actually astonished that his father is actually like really nice to him now. But he realized in the end that actually it's not really him that he's pleased with. He's just putting on an act, in a way, sort of putting on an act that he's totally like for the Fire Nation when he's not like truly evil like his dad is. So I don't know when the truth is going to be out that Zuko is still in two mindsets. like he just found out that Roku is his maternal grandfather, and that Sozin actually let Roku die, which is so fucked up. Yeah, it's interesting, but fucked up. Anyway, the relationship between Mei and Zuko, like, is so cute, but it just feels a little bit like it's all like now that it's happening, and like they didn't get any development in previous seasons. But I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. Anyway, so Aang is getting so many nightmares, and it was just like it was getting a bit frustrating that he was so gullible towards those nightmares that he thought they were like premonitions or something, and he was getting no sleep whatsoever because there was basically 4 days till the invasion. So in the next couple of episodes, it's going to be the actual war now. So I'm scared. I'm scared for Aang, but I'm so confident at the same time because he does know what he's doing, but he's not getting the sleep, and I was getting worried. Um, so at the end, he finally was able to sleep. So it's all good. Alright, that's my full. So what do you think of these episodes? Let me know and stay tuned for more.